or move back in. But Keith Galloway went off with numbness down his arm. And on the bench, now we all know that McDermott doesn't use the bench as well as you or I might suggest could do. On the bench, you have Jimmy Kiner, Anthony Murray, Josh Wallace, and Sam Halley. So, a Spencer from utility second cover and a young lad who's barely played in the first team is, part of your interchange bench. And when that's the case, it's tough to be away for Leeds to win this one. I'm not sure that they would have even been favourites on this, in this one going into the game. It was just nice to see us call it, really. It was an early start for Leeds, losing, but then I think that's the problem. People don't feel Leeds winners anymore. If they go ahead, they're not going ahead by, 18 points in a blitz at the start of the half. They're going ahead, and then teams are thinking, well, it doesn't matter. We still know we can press them back. That's what Catalan did. And the other point I've made is how exciting it is to see so many, when Catalan Dragons come into so much criticism for bringing over so many horses and what have you, looking at the number of French players that were at Catalan 17, Morgan Escaré, Tony Gigo, Vincent Dupont, Fouad Yaha, Lucas Albert, Eloi Felissier, Jason Baccheri, Thomas Bosch, Antonio Maria, Julian Bousquet, and Roman Perez. The majority of that side is French, and by some distance. So, credit to Catalan Dragons and what they're doing for French Football League as well. It just debunks the whole the Australians playing in Toulouse mix for me as well. First thing on this.
Yeah, did you see Fouad Yaha's try? I mean, that's
sensational. He tried to have 4 Rhinos defenders on the line with him.
When I was watching the highlights for it, I was like, why are they showing a try where why are they showing a clip where a guy's going to clearly get pushed out of play? But actually, it was like Ryan Hall at his best, almost, in that corner of Headingley. You've seen it so many times, just for the Rhinos rather than against them. Monstered him.
Right. Glad you brought Ryan Hall up, because I was going to talk about this during the witness at the Warrington game. Is it just me, or is Reece Evans like an albino version of Ryan Hall, the way he looks? Spatially, he looks like Ryan Hall's ghost to me.
I'll have to have a look at that one. I'll have to have a look.
Just at certain angles, Reece Evans, he's Ryan Hall's ghost.
I'll throw together a little image to put out with the show on that one, Tom.
I'm taking this off that might not be comfortable for anybody, but yeah, it's just something I noticed on Friday night. What were your thoughts on the Leeds Catalan game, Matt? Well,
I thought that actually it is probably quite positive for Leeds, and they've started again. It's not I've come up with my theory on what's gone wrong with Leeds this season, and it's complacency on their part to think that trotting out the line that the spirit's never been better, everything's fine, we're just doing it tough at the moment. All that bullshit they've been trotting out week after week has made them complacent and made them think it'll just turn around. But maybe they've dropped a bit of that off, and they're realising that they're going to lose games because they're the shittest team in the league at the moment. They're playing like they are. They're gonna lose games, but they need to prepare now for the middle eights when the challenge is to stay in Super League. So maybe this is a start of it.
They're legitimately at risk of going, not surviving the middle eight.
Well, they have to be at risk because they're not playing well enough. They're not building leads, and they're not keeping teams out. So anyway, the game then ended with that sort of weird situation where I thought there was a ball strip on a Catalan player that should have been a penalty, but it was let go and not even ruled as a knock on, it seems, because Leeds then gave the ball back to Catalan, and Eloi Felissier ran 60 metres after robbing out of Danny Maguire's hands, I think it was, to go and score the try that sealed it right at the end. So it actually was, 18-12 for the most part. But when we move on to the stats, I actually probably think Catalan could have done more, but Catalan don't seem to want to win by big margins very often this year, do they? The result was closer for Leeds than in recent weeks, helped by 3% better tackle success and 3 fewer penalties conceded. Everything else, though, would indicate Catalan's winning margin should have been greater, nearly 300 more metres at 1.4 metres per carry better average gain, with 6 breaks to 1 and a couple less handling errors. So that 6 breaks to 1 number suggests that Leeds probably got off light on the scoreboard with it being so close.
Yeah.
Individually, Justin Horrow had a try, 160 metres. Jason Barrieri had a try, 46 tackles and 14 marker tackles, 107 metres, so he went full Houghton. Eloi Pelissier, or we'll call it going, yeah, mate, that's what we'll call it from now on. Eloi Pelissier, he had a try in 128 metres.
Can we call him Eloi Pizza Boy?
Eloi Pizza Boy, yeah. He got a try in 128 metres. And Morgan Escaray, who rumoured to be going to a number of English clubs next year, he got 144 metres, 2 clean breaks on his return to the side. I think he's made the stats roundup every time he's played, this year. Maybe one time he missed out.
Yeah, it does seem that when he gets on the pitch, he's performing, isn't it?
Exactly. Okay, for Leeds, Brett Ferris, he's statistically their standout performer this year, probably, you would argue, along with another 2 names that we're going to throw up at the end of this list. But a try and 128 metres for Brett. Brett Delaney, another Brett, 52 tackles, 13 of which were marker tackles. Then we move on to Mitch Garbutt. Mitch Garbutt made 10 tackle buffs in this game and 162 metres. And then finally, Jamie Jones Buchanan, the mainstay of the stats roundup this season, 46 tackles, 118 metres, went both ways. Well done, JJB.
He's been sensational since coming back from injury, hasn't he?
He really has, yeah.
Yeah, absolutely fine. Everybody was genuine, and I've said this a couple of times on the show. I genuinely thought that was the end of the game, and one of the great high achievers in terms of cumulative titles and stuff. And the league area was going to be last of the game, but JJB has come back from a best career and being injured at the age of about 33, 34, and he's just smashing up. He's doing really well. It's brilliant to see.
Yep. Okay, so obviously we have a few Leeds fans that normally get in touch, and no change this week. Dr. Bob Phillips said, that was the least disappointing game of Rhinos rugby for many a day. They even seemed to remember how to hold on to the ball in the second half. The scoreline flattered the French a little. Cutthroat Jake, he said, at least when we were crap in the 80s, we had a world-class player like Gary Schofield to drag us out of the mire. Now we'd struggle to find a second-class one. Colin Render said, same old story. Score first, mediocre rest of the game. Decide to fight in the last 10 minutes when it's too late to do anything. At least it wasn't a huge score like the last few games. Adam Blackburn, who is at Adam Blackburn on... I think I've cut off his Twitter handle here, so... yeah, I'll give you that next week, guys, because Adam, I hope you get in touch again. Nice to have you on board. He said, Catalans deserve the win. Too many errors from Leeds and not much attacking spark. A good effort. And finally, Rich Wilkinson, he said, not much coverage of this game, but what I could pick... I guess he means down under. But what I could pick up, Leeds improved. Conceding a try on the hooter, going for the draw. A step in the right direction, I hope.
Yeah, it's a bit of a shame that, two for defeat is a step in the right direction, but I think Rich is right. I think it does represent that for Leeds in terms of, not getting locked away from home and starting to just kind of get some cohesion. But I think there's going to be a problem when people start coming back to Leeds almost, because they kind of got used to playing with this passionate side, and there's not going to be that consistent, steady line-up every week for them. It's going to be a lot of chopping and changing, people coming back, and I hope nothing too horrid happens to them, but it's been a shame that a step in the right direction is losing at home to a team that's never beaten you in regular season play at home. That's not great, is it?
Yeah, no, it's certainly a bad year for Leeds, but a great year for Catalan so far. Okay, moving on to the one game of the weekend that I know lots about because I was at it, although it does seem like I saw different things happen to the Salford fans that were there. We'll get to that a little bit more later on. But Salford 20, Wigan 23 at the AJ Bell Stadium in front of just over 4,000 people. It was a very pleasant evening in terms of weather, and it was a... Wigan made it a harder game than it probably should have been. When it was 13-10 after about an hour, 23-10 after about an hour, Wigan should have really settled the game down, but instead what Sean Wayne decided to do is put Taulima Tautai back on the pitch, and he gave away a penalty and then dropped the ball inexplicably. And after that, a couple more errors rolled from other players in the forward pack, and Wigan found themselves under pressure with Justin Carney, of all people, feeling like he was the man to put in a kick on the very last play of the game to try and win it for the Red Devils, which probably wasn't what they wanted to see. They were a playmaker down with Michael Dobson off the pitch anyway, and Robert Louis had been tackled, which I knew then, when Robert Louis was the man tackled, that was probably the end of the game with 5 or 6 seconds left. It was a close game, though, in terms of what the both sides were able to put up, and Salford's back five were always a threat in this one. They're so big and they're so powerful. Josh Jones in particular was outstanding and almost unstoppable at times. I mean, he was being defended by Matty Smith, who isn't the greatest tackler in the world, although did put in some really important shots in this game. Really, though, Wigan, like I say, made it a bit harder for themselves than it needed to be, and Salford gave Wigan a lot of easy ground with penalties. The penalty count was 10-8 in the end, and both teams were penalised for the same sorts of things. Holding down was a constant threat. Not square at marker was an issue a few times in the game. It was both sides will probably look at this game and think they shot themselves in the foot a little bit, and they should have both done quite a bit better.
Well, I mean, I can't add a tremendous amount to that, except that obviously it does seem like it was close on the score. It's good to see that you guys can still get results without John Bateman in the team. That's something that you might well need to get used to moving forward. But, now, from what I saw in the raw highlights, you were probably on balance in some of the game management and your overall performance, value for the victory, although you got to a lot of thanks to Charlie for that in terms of his individual performance. But did you have the pleasure of bumping into Owen that you bumped into?
Yeah, well, Owen's got a match review, so I was going to talk about it a bit more there, but no, it's fine. You've brought it up now, so that's great. Yeah, so before the game kicked off, Owen sent me a message. He decided, I think late-ish on in the day, to head over to the AJ Bell to catch the game. Drove over on his own, and so he sent me a message and said, "Do you just want a quick chat before the game?" And I was like, "Of course I do." He's been one of our listeners since the first year, hasn't he? So.
Oh yeah.
And a really nice lad, and it was great to meet him. He had his flat cap on with his little Salford Red Devils badge on it. It was he's got a cool look about him, Tom. He really has, and he was a really nice guy. The stewards tried to stop me going to talk to him because they thought that I was trying to go to a stand where my ticket wouldn't let me. But I was like, no, I'm just going to talk to that bloke. Just stood there. You can chat with us if you want, Mr. Steward. But they were fine with it. And we had a nice catch up. We talked about the woes of travelling through Glossop, and then we to go over the Snake Pass, and then we talked about what we're expecting. He chatted a bit about a bit annoyed about Josh Griffin leaving because of how much he puts a bit of an impact on. I've chatted about that in the news already, and then we just sort of talked about what might come and a bit about the Bateman stuff. I mean, nothing confirmed as of yet, so we don't know. But the reports are, obviously, most people will have seen now. The rugby league press are reporting a 4-week suspension. And possibly a month without pay as well. So it'll be interesting to see how that all comes out in the wash from that. Because we don't have anything confirmed, it's hard for us to comment much further. But we won without John Bateman, which was good to see from my perspective.
Yeah, definitely. So what was this one? What did the stats tell us?
Well, this was close on the numbers, like the scoreline suggests. There was 4 tries each, and Salford actually made a break more and an error less, and were awarded 2 more penalties in this game. They had more ball and made twice as many attacking kicks, but Wigan made meters at 1 metre per carry better average and tackled at 3% better on average. So, similar-ish story to the Cass Huddersfield game without the bomb chances, I suppose, because Wigan didn't really bomb the chances. But what the stats don't necessarily show, and what I think most people who are at the game would agree on, is that between the two sides, Salford were probably more than equal match to Wigan coming out of their own end. For every great run by Manfredi or Charnley, you had a great run by Vido or Jones or Carney. Carney was particularly powerful carrying the ball, out of on